Yeah, so if you agree, go there and explain it. If you disagree, go there and explain it. If you're in the middle, explain it. Okay. During our training, we used specific practice. Okay, why Huria?
Specific.
So specificity, if you look at the principle in there.
We use specific skills
Mm-hmm.
for touch, but we didn't have specific touch.
To practice our weaknesses.
Yeah, it's a practice activities and to target skill.
So you could argue that bits of it weren't.
Yeah.
Why wasn't intensity specific?
I think we lacked motivation, kind of got bored of doing zero. But at first we didn't have intensity.
Could you also say it was because we didn't have defence?
Yeah.
Yeah, so the intensity automatically decreases.
Yeah.
Okay, anything else about that?
We specifically improved our move, chicken rep, and we repeated it over so we know our weaknesses and fixed it. Made our move a lot better.
Good. Yeah, good answer. Okay, during our training we used progression.
So we started low.
Do you both want to stay at completely agree?
Hold on.
Progression is
Yeah, skills means scaffolded order to stimulate challenging of skill ability. No, but we did progress. So obviously we got so much better, so I agree with that.
Did you personally? Go to where you personally would sit. Yep, fair enough.
But as a team, we did progress.
But with your assignment, you're just writing about you. So why would you be halfway on progression?
Because I already knew most of the stuff. Like, chicken wrap, I found interesting progress from there, but I already knew she could all have data and stuff like
Did you progress on any of your weaknesses? Or from your pre-test score?
that.
Do you think?
Yes, I do, yeah, I do think that.
Yeah. Good. Jen,
we progressed from our first game, our pre-game, and learnt settle and chicken wrap as a team. And we played in our final game.
yeah. So what else would you need to tell you whether we progressed through the training to get to the end result?
I think intense, to touch things, personally for me.
Yeah.
And moves,
Yeah.
stuff like that. And actually the theory of touch, how you draw players and stuff like that.
You can also say, and you're allowed to be insensitive, say, I wish we had a specific touch coach. Because that would obviously help as well.
Oh, yeah, that's it. So
You can definitely say that, yeah.
It misformed something.
Yeah, definitely. But in terms of what we can do right now for your assignment, what data do you think you're going to need to work out whether you progress from your pre-test to your post-test?
The log sheets and videos.
And the results of the first and the results of the last.
That's right. So you need those right in front of you to have a look. Cool. Okay. The environment we played in was an open environment.
Open is predictable.
Opposite.
Like, we have defense range.
It's at the back of the page. Back of the last page. In writing.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Open, well, it says open schools, is that right?
Yeah.
Schools such as open schools, the environment is changing and so on. So like,
So I said our training was open. Agree? Disagree?
I'd say
Training was because we have like no defenders.
schools are predominantly.
Okay, repeat that, Jenna. Why is it not open?
Because we had no defenders working on this. We were just doing attacking moves.
Very good. Do you understand that? Explain it to her, dear.
Compare tennis to touch. You have defenders like running towards
Oh,
you.
yes. No.
Tennis, you can predict where the ball's going to go.
Yeah.
See that?
Get it now, yeah.
Cool. So then our training was closed, but our game was a bit more open because of defenders. So the entire game of touch is open, but because we didn't have a defending team in our training, it was closed. Is that cool? Yes. Right. We used part practice.
Use whole.
Okay, so you're going to stay there. How did we use whole practice?
We do need like everything broken down really small.
That's right. Yeah. Give me an example of a skill that you could break down that we didn't.
Like the passing. So we learned a whole drill skill instead of breaking it down a little.
Good. So you're going to stay there?
Yeah.
Okay.
I only think agree because when we learn, not passing catching skills, like the actual attacking moves, that's like defense, we did have to break it down. So we had to be like this person, this person,
Okay.
seven and stuff like that.
So if we reread over the definition of part and whole practice, we'll see who's right.
The skill is taught in separate parts. That's part, whole skill is taught as one piece.
Okay. So you're opening it up a little bit. Okay, we'll do more research to see who's right. Okay, but part practice is usually literally breaking it fully down. For example, if you had in the past, you could do the footwork with no ball, so the stepping forward, and then you could introduce the ball.
Yeah.
So because we were at what stage of learning, we were higher than cognitive stage, yeah? We were able to just chuck it together. Yep. Okay. The feedback we got was knowledge of performance. It's quite hard. That's on the back page too, Hudia.
Whereabouts?
In handwriting. Oh.
Is it on the back?
It's only if open skills.
Oh, you should catch up on those notes.
I don't understand that question.
Okay, so do you remember what knowledge of results is, Gina? If you think about it, you'll get it.
Knowing what your results is?
Pretty much.
Is it like our video? Roll sheets, scene.
So if I was to say to you, your pass in the chicken wrap was really good, you executed it well, and from it you scored 1 or 2 tries. Would that be knowledge of performance or knowledge of results? Results, because why?
Because you resulted in getting the try.
That's right. Good thinking. So then knowledge of performance would be pretty much what I said. So you passed the ball well to the wingers using force summation. They were able to catch it. You reached your target. Full stop. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't tell you.
Result, but it was just
Yeah.
discouraged.
Another result example would be your defence. You worked as a team on defence. You made sure all the holes were covered. Therefore, you were able to touch them. So that's results too. It's not just try. Okay, cool. We use random practice.
Yes.
Who wants to go first?
More than one activities practice continuously. So, we just practiced like quite a few things in our training. It's not just one specific thing.
Okay. So what examples of what skills that we practiced?
Variety of skills. We did, everyone had their weaknesses to do with one, so like fitness and one was defense, so we did drills, defending, we did settle.
Okay, look at it as a skills perspective.
Oh, we done check and rep and one, we did settle.
Go down further. Skills. A skill is
Oh, you mean like passing, catching,
dumping,
jumping,
touching. Like.
yeah, getting back.
Yep, that's right. So break it down even further. And don't forget, for your merit or excellence result, you're going to have to look at it the other way and say, if we didn't do random practice and we did blocked practice, this is what would happen.
So when it says block, one activity is practice continuously, what do you mean by activity? Like, do you just mean like running up, touching, running up, touching?
The whole entire practice. Like we did with that basketball shooting.
Yeah.
Okay, so looking at it from if we did something else as well, what would the result be? I'm going to ask you that for the next one.
Oh, well.
Looking at
The
it,
other way around. So if we did block practice instead of random practice, what would the results be?
what do you think, let's do it now, what do you think would happen to your sports psychology, so your arousal level, if we just did blocked?
Get really bored. And
Yeah. Therefore your performance would, don't forget that graph. So when it's low, performance is low as well. Good.
And what happens if you're over aroused?
You just can't focus. So, the body as a machine, technocentricity applies to our training.
It's on the last page.
Yeah.
Beliefs that are based on constant deciding and I don't actually know what it is. It can be considered the application of the body is viewed as a machine that can be fixed, improved, or adapted. So what was the question? Sorry.
Technocentricity applies to our training. It's a principle. Okay, good. Why?
Because we did fix and improve, like, the skill set, we get like, something wrong with, like, fix it and then
Good.
improving our skills.
Good. So probably not to the extreme of someone who's, being tested and in a lab, but we didn't just say, look, you guys, go and have fun with your training. Get better, not get better, doesn't really matter. Go and have fun. That would not be body's a machine.
Like, pretty much everything we did was fixing and improving.
Yeah, exactly. So how is it a negative thing? How could it be a negative thing, what we did? Gina, what do you think? What's bad about always focusing on our results and always using the body as a machine? Gina, what are... What could be bad about that? So if the pressure's quite high, less likely to enjoy it, have fun. That's right. Okay. So those things. Good. Force summation was applied during our trainings. Yep. Okay, we talked about the winger and what they needed. Can you... So how does force summation apply to the winger?
Passing the ball long with hard force
Yeah.
to the land catch.
And you put all your energy into that one pass.
Yeah.
It's not an easy pass.
That's right. So what do you do to sum up that force with your body?
Run up and
Yep.
step fast.
You're using pretty much every muscle in your body, but
Yep.
you need to run up so that you can acceleration.
Which muscles are used first?
Your legs,
Because they are the...
strongest.
Good. And then you end with...
Your wrist.
Good. Wrist flexors. Good. Okay, I like that. That's good. I'm going to leave that for biomechanics to emphasise how little you need to talk about it, but you do need to.
That's all we have to pretty much say.
Yep, and you can bring in a little bit, if you want, you can bring in projectile motion as well. So the projectile is the ball. Okay, with projectile motion, why would your angle of release have to change from a player in the mid, what do you call it,
The middles.
middle, than to the winger?
Get the pass back.
So your angle,
Angle of release.
so your projectile usually goes like this.
Like down.
See what I mean?
Yeah.
Because if I was at that side of the room and I passed you a ball that went up, what's going to happen?
It's going to be really strong.
Yeah. And if you're the winger, you can't receive that. So I'm going to have to adapt it.
Oh, if you're middle and do you mean if you pass me out to the wing? Well, obviously it's going to be quite flat. The angle is going to be quite low.
Yep,
Because it's a fast ball.
that's right. Whereas for a pop,
Lob.
you can almost do a lob. Good. Okay, last question. My arousal level was high during training. So sports psychology here.
Yeah, we can take this all down.
Yeah.
Do personally.
Personally, mine was quite average because I got bored.
Yeah.
Doing the same thing only because I knew it, but with Caleb or something.
Every time taking the ball away from Keelan, passing the ball.
Yeah.
So if you're comparing, so you talk about personally, and then you can compare it for that higher grade.
Can you compare it with say Caleb or someone who is new at touch and I'm quite experienced with touch? My arousal was quite low because I knew it his.
That's right.
Quite high because he had to.
That's exactly why. So we're looking at what model learning theory are we looking at when you compare, for example, you to Keelan? So if I give you an example, you'll be able to tell me the theory. Cognitive stage.
Yeah, if you're a cognitive state, if you like.
So what's principle? Stage of learning.
Stage of learning.
Okay. So you need to talk about why your arousal level is high or low based on your stage of learning. Good. And this one's for Jenna because I know she applied it. I applied visualization during training. Or the game. Let's do the game because yours was more the game. Okay?
I visualise not to drop the ball and try and focus on the move.
Because
Yes, we weren't executing that well.
so from her first game, she did a lot of drop ball, so that and then that night she literally spent a couple of minutes just visualising. When you visualise improving or visualise sport, what do you have to visualise?
Just the scene outside,
I told you about 3 things. Can you remember that?
like the smell.
Smell of the grass. It helps.
Weather, I think.
Yeah. Yep.
You want a sun's position there for 10.
The team. Even hearing, so you hear your players, you hear the defence. Everything has to be
I think talking is a big one.
the same. The what?
Hearing is a big
Yeah.
one.
And smell is one of your biggest scents. And if you're on the grass, that's quite a specific smell. So, okay, so you do it in netball. You can even talk about netball in your assignment.
I do, yeah, different sport.
Yeah.
But I kind of like do it differently, so I would not stand there like kind of and like set goals for myself, like talk to myself what goals I'm going to set today and how I'm going to do them.
Good.
If it doesn't work out, like what's my next option?
And then, oh yeah,
That's
so
what I
problem
always do.
solving. That's real good because then when you get to that point, you're not very anxious.
Yeah. And then I can think about it like after the game, I'm like, oh, did I do that? If it didn't work, why?
Yeah. And did you and do you visualize being at the courts, the
Yeah,
grey
visualise.
concrete, the goals?
And like the play, like how it's really set it up.
That's real powerful. So don't be afraid to talk about other sports in your assignment. It's okay.